Okay, good evening, everyone. We would like
Great.
to begin since it's already past 9, while others are preparing to join us. We will just start, and the program is recorded. So whoever misses the beginning can go back and check it. So we welcome you again to this wonderful program of the Sankofa Political Studies. We are still on the Martian anthropology. Today, we shall be dealing or going through trying to be friends with the idea of the free will of humans, the free will of humans. This is talking about how our African ancestors, our brothers and sisters of old, how they consider themselves. That is the Martian anthropology. And this episode is based on the free will of humans. We all know that we have free will, but let us see how our forefathers considered free will. Our lecturer today is no other person than Chinonso Aneke. So Chinonso Aneke, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Tony, for this beautiful introduction. As you can see, I put immediately a quote, and this quote is what is going to guide us through in our presentation. Here, I said it that I will cause you to know what is right in your heart so that you may do what is just in your sight. That is to say that the Sankofa Political Studies is, in terms of the human free will, is based on the fact that our ability to have freedom to be free to do not really whatever we like, but in accordance with our nature is what is known as the divine endowment. A divine endowment is the foundation of the human free will. And these very quotes will cause you to know what is right in your heart so that you may do what is just in your sight. It talks about the teaching of the Mahat, because it is by listening and by hearkening to the teachings of the Master that we can do what is just in our sight. And without much ado, let's delve immediately into the topic of today, which is the free will of humans. In the first part, we'll be talking about good or evil, that the choice is yours. What do we mean? We said that the locus classicus of the doctrine of free will is in what we know as the Coffin text, written in the year 1130. And the volume is there on the screen, and from pages 462 to pages 463. That's where we got this extract from. That is to say that in this very passage which I cited, the creator lists 4 good deeds which he has done which he has done for human beings, among which is the freedom to choose good or evil. Now, number 1 said it that I made the 4 winds so that every man might breathe there from in his time and place. What does this mean? It means that when we know that the word itself, they say it's founded on the 4 corners. We say 4 corners of the earth. And remember, this is an ancient text which talks about the breath of life, which is shared by all humans. And if that is the case, we dive immediately to the second one, which is I made the great flood waters so that the humble person might benefit from it like the great. Now, benefiting from the flood waters, that is what helps in the irrigation of plants, is also a way of participating, that is taken from the fountain, like the great men and women that have already walked on the face of the earth. Now we are talking of the great Kanaks, the great city of the blacks. Now the third passage made it clear that I have made every man like his fellow. Now pay attention to this. That the creator has created me just like you. So in terms of differences between persons, you're saying now I'm made just like the other person beside me. Now, this is where free will enters in. He said, I did not command that they do evil. Created all, we are all similar. We resemble each other. Now, we are now talking at the anthropological level. That is to say that there is no difference anthropologically, humanly speaking, between myself and you. However, the Creator is saying that He didn't command us to do evil. That it was in the hearts of men that when they violate what I teach, now in the first person, that is the Creator, that evil emerges. In the violation of the good, of the teachings of Maat, that evil emerges. And then the last passage made it clear that I caused their hearts not to forget to make offerings to the divine powers of the provinces. Now, what is our premise? The picture projected already is shown the choice between what is good and what is evil. That is what is there before every man. Such that the textual setting of this granting of free will is significant in the sense that it is among other essential and shared endowments given to humanity. That is why we say that the free will is seen by the Creator as a gift within a gift. Now, we have listed already the 4 things that the Creator has done, and we have inserted human beings within this very creation, this very endowment, and we are saying that human beings, they are gifts, and that the free will is a gift inside a gift, which are human beings. Double gift. That is to say that humans are free to act as they will, and they may choose Maat or Isfet. We remember that Isfet is chaos, while Maat is orderliness. Now, it is in this very ability of humans to choose between what is good and what is evil. But the choice remains always theirs. Let this be very clear. They must, as consequence, bear the moral responsibility for their choice. That is to say that man is primarily responsible for the choices that he makes with his free will. Maat doing, that is doing what is right, doing what is ordered, doing what is good, leads automatically, now pay attention to my words, automatically to a long and successful life and immortality, which is actually the last, let's put it this way, where man tends to immortality, to be immortalized, and in the next world. You see, Isfet, it means Isfet doing, that is doing that which is not good, which is not true to our nature, true to our calling, leads to what? To failure and destruction in this world and in the next. This explains the origin of chaos that we have in this world. Chaos originates because humans have refused to follow what is magic, to follow that which is. And that explains what we call the origin of that which is not good, which others might classify as evil, as disorderliness, as chaos. Now, we are coming now to the implications. If we've said all these things, what are the implications? The implication is that according to the Martian philosophy, there is an established order of things. It gave way where we suppose they do things. That this world is not chaotic, but this world is ordered. Maat is the order, in which evil is the counterproduction of Maat. And righteousness or Martian conduct affirms human life and human flourishing. That is to say that humans flourish, enters into this very order when human beings follow the Martian lifestyle. This is provocative. This is provocative. That is to say that humans are the authors of their own flourishing, of their own doom. Now, what is the pedagogical response to this implication? It means that free will does not bring evil in the world. Evil as a negative and as an ontological principle is in the structure and process of being. That is to say that having free will doesn't automatically lead to the presence of evil in the world. Free will is the divine endowment that humans have. So it's not evil in itself. However, evil comes in as the ontological principle in the structure of being. That is to say that in our desire to become, we've always used this word, evil emerges. Man strives to become, and then by not knowing, he automatically falls into doing certain acts that are not in accordance with his true calling. That is why here is highlighted that for being is possibility and potential. Now, like I was saying, you'll see that the implication of what we said. Now, I'm talking about the pedagogical response. If being is possibility and potentiality, evil is also among the many things that are possible. To become martyr is possible. And to do evil act is also a possibility that are contained in the free will of humans. That is to say that the fact that there exists free will doesn't necessarily mean that that is what brings evil into the world. But evil in itself comes when humans start acting with their free will. I hope this passage is very clear. The theme of evil and the good and evil. Where does it come from? You say free will exists first, and then it is when human beings start acting that they can become, that there is the potentiality and possibility of becoming or of enacting evil acts. And that is to say that in the Martian ontology, Mart is always triumphant. So already by now you must have kind of guessed it. In this ongoing clash of opposites, in order to safeguard humans. So there is no ontological stain of sin and no resultant alienation from the creator. That is to say that humans are always tending towards the creator. Free will, the per se, leads to evil and good in society. That is when man starts acting upon his will. But it's not responsible for the existence of evil in being, just like I have already portrayed several times. Now, we go now to the part B, that is the seat of the human person, that is the heart itself, where we gave it the title of moral consciousness. Key to the responsible exercise of free will is what we termed as the moral consciousness, which the ancient Egyptians conceived as rooted in the heart, called Eve or Eti. The consciousness is rooted in the heart. The ancient Egyptians, they per se, we are convinced, attention, that it is the heart which causes its owner to hear or not hear. That is to say that the seat of hearing is the heart. It is the heart. Listening heart, like it reminds us immediately of the previous lesson we had, when we talk of a man that has become attuned to doing good, such that the heart hears that which is good. The heart is attuned to listening to the cries of those around him, and the heart is attuned to the needs of the society, the listening heart. In this sense, we're talking of the rational and the emotional hearing. Rational and emotional, you have already perceived it from my exposition. And that is what we termed as the moral responsiveness. A man that hears and acts responsibly, that knows that he's responsible for this. That is why Tautep says, a man's heart is his life, property, and health. This therefore links the heart as moral conscience to Mart, and Mart is already from the onset established as the ground of the good life on earth and the divine life in the hereafter. In order to live a good life here on earth, we have to live according to the dictates, principles of Mart. And in order to live a divine life in the hereafter, it's also important. Towards the end, you're going to see a beautiful illustration of the weighing of the heart with the mat, the symbol of mat, which is the leaf. Now, what are the three basic elements of the heart? It's circular and anthropological aspects, in which the heart is depicted in ancient Egyptian texts as the seat of emotion and reason. We've said that already. Feeling and thoughts, both negative and positive. The second passage is that each religious anthropological aspect, so secular anthropological, religious anthropological, and the partnership. Now, in the second, it's saying that in its religious anthropological aspect, the heart is viewed as a medium through which God speaks to the human person. And the last, its partnership aspect, in which it is described as a partner of man in reinforcing his courage and determination in difficult situations. Now, let's immediately go to the next paragraph, to the next page that I was telling you about. Now, pay careful attention to this. What therefore is the heart or the mind, as we call, as we term it, the hip, the center of moral life, the seat of moral sentiments, love, courage, the will, and as the seat of intellectual faculties of man, wisdom, mind, intelligence, thoughts, memory, etc. In a nutshell, the heart is known as the divine presence within the Ra. The divine presence within man. Remember the third passage that we said that I've created you, I've endowed you just like every other man. That is to say that the divine presence is in you, in me, in Buhari, in P2B, in Atiku, all of them. The Ra resides in each person, in all humans on earth. The heart of a man is his interior. Here is translated as a divine guide, as a compass. Take the heart as the compass of man. Now, also in his write-up, he's saying that I am satisfied with what I have done. That is why the human will, the human act, gets satisfaction. The heart vibrates, is satisfied when what you've done is good. When you do good, the heart is satisfied. The heart then is both the measure and measurement of humans. It is what humans are measured with. It is guide and witness and a sure indication of man's moral knowledge, of his moral sensitivity and moral standing. The heart. The essential moral functions then of heart are those of moral sensitivity and moral reasoning, and thus are central to any concept of free will. The heart is central to the free will because it is the divine presence within every being. Moreover, it is this same heart which the ancient Egyptians believed would bear witness, attention, in vindication of a person on the day of judgment, or in that is vindicates, to say, this person, you do well, you do well, or indict the person, say, you know, try all at all. Siamo, by the show. That is the heart. This is where the heart becomes the, I wouldn't say template, but the board, the billboard. Let's use this. The billboard, where everything you've done is shown on the judgment day. So, in a nutshell, it plays the added role of moral witness in the hereafter. Note, this is where I was trying to arrive. The image by the right that you can see indicates the judgment day in the presence of Osiris. Where Anubis weighs the heart in the hall of the truth against Mars, symbolized with a feather. Now, this is to say that on the judgment day, Anubis, in the presence of Osiris, puts the feather, which is Mars, feather which ordinarily shouldn't weigh anything, and the human heart weighs a lot of kg. Now, if Mars goes up and the heart is going down, it means you have done well. You'll be found equal. But if your heart goes up and my heart is going down, that is the feather. It means say you know try. It means say you know try at all. That is to say that my heart is the measurement of human acts. Who will be judged? Let's use the classical Christian terminology for easy comprehension, according to our deeds, according to our good deeds. mind you. You can see similarity between what we are saying now and many sayings of both Christians and other religions, because Maat, this teaching precedes all the other teachings. You can see the years that we are quoting here. Also, for those who have followed our lecture right from the beginning, we are talking of thousands of years before Christianity. So these are ancient texts that are still very much fundamental. They are still the basics of so many teachings of morality up till our current contemporary period. Now we are drawing almost to the end. Now, sorry. Now we are saying that the free will, the per se, okay, is in itself the responsibility to choose good. Like I said previously, the creator is saying when he has endowed man like other men, that I did not command you to do evil. In your nature is the free will. But now I know me say your free will and say I must use and do evil. There is no external being that is telling you what I've given you. Use and punish people. Use and go to rig election. Use and go to frustrate people. Use and go to kill people. That is not part of the command that I've given you. The command that I've given you, on the other hand, is to do good and detest evil. Implying and leaving unsaid, the real challenge is to choose and do good. Failing to meet this challenge, freedom of will becomes an illusion of freedom. If you don't do good, your freedom is illusory. It's an illusion. You are not truly free, because freedom means doing that which is good. That is when you are truly free. You know, it is now termed as responsible personhood in the community. That true freedom is realized when persons are responsible in a given community. That is why moral discussion in ancient Egypt becomes an ongoing dialogue and discourse in self-cultivation through enlightenment, going back to what we said previously, that I will teach you. I will teach your heart to recognize that which is good and which is evil, in order to make a fundamental choice, in order to choose. And you can arrive at this through enlightenment and self-discipline. You know, and all these things borders on the human person's ability to choose, you know, to decide. And hence, moral education, what we are doing now, what we've been teaching all this while, becomes indispensable to teach not just free will, but the choice and practice of the good. That is math. We're not just talking here about the free will, but how to practice and how to choose that which is good. And also to tell us the counterproductivity of evil, which is its effects. Like I said previously, Nigeria is at a state of boiling point. And the recent events, recent happenings have kind of vindicated us. It's like it's giving us a kind of clear evidence of that which would happen when people are not exercising their free will in the right manner. Now, for instance, when the future of billions of people are kind of on the balance, and few individuals chooses to exercise their free will, their power to choose that which is good or evil, and adamantly, clearly, Koro I rigs an election that could have set so many people. What do we see? Effect. Free will becomes counterproductive. It leads us to evil. However, just like we've seen before, my heart still prevails, because even therein where there abounds evil, there abounds more of my heart, because my heart englobes everything. And that is why evil ordinarily in this discourse that we are seeing never has the final say, because my heart outshines, my heart shines. Therefore, moral existence is an ongoing struggle. An ongoing struggle for liberation, to continuously aim to the higher will. That is the aim. To arrive at that God that is within, the divine presence, the Ra, in the midst of pleasant and also other improper and self-destructive options. The self-destructive options that we have made as a nation, that's also, in this case, some other persons, a good number of persons have made on behalf of millions of Nigerians. Dear Caparians, what we are dealing with today is an existential issue. What we are handling today speaks not just to the present generation, but also to the future generation, to say that our acts today creates ripples. There are consequences for every action, for every exercise of free will of the human person. Now, in summary, what have we been trying to say? It is important to note that the concept of free will in ancient Egypt in no way approximates the modern individualistic concept of autonomy. Say me, I dey free to choose, may I do anything what I want to. If it suits me, I go do it as it take place me. Because your free will cannot override the free will of the entire society, because where your free will ends is where ours start as a community. I am because we are. And we are because I am. It englobes. The individual is not isolated from the community, and the community is not viewed in isolation from the individual. That is why our act has ripples, creates repercussions, good or bad, on the society. And what the society decides also affects us at individual and at personal levels. For the ancient Egyptians, the central moral issue is not choice. Nobody say he choose whether to choose or not, but responsiveness. That is responding, that listening heart, and being responsible. And we categorize it in the category of hearing, the listening heart. The listening heart. Therefore, what is of importance to Martian teaching is the insistence, my people, on the recognition and responsiveness to the order of things, how things supposed to be. Now it make us the hammer on top this issue, say, make we go back to where things supposed to be, the way things are ordered, the Martic way, the divine, natural, and social order. If we no do amo, kata go day, his fate go continue. You go the chop our dough. That continues. These are the implications. As Frankfurt said in the year 1961, he argues that the key and continuing concern is for harmonious attunement to the order of things and the practice of man, which is the way to wisdom and human flourishing, just like I've said previously. To act virtuously, therefore, is to act in harmony with my heart, my people, which is the divinity or the divine presence within me, within you, within Buhari, within the INEC chairman. You see, these things, they not be just words. They have moral implications. They have social, also economic and cultural implications. And this is where the line is drawn between good and evil. And to act viciously, to act in the wrong way, is to act against the very nature of things and against one's own higher will, or lack of insight, or lack of restraint. Our higher will is to be attuned with that which is within us, the Ra, which is. Conclusion. Happiness and contentment would not come to the man who did not live his life in a manner to produce them. Person will no do things that will produce happiness, you know, go they happy. You don't feel they happy if you don't do things where they produce happiness. For before life could be good, it had to be ordered. It had to be lived within the conscience of these principles, which would ensure goodness and happiness. That is to say, if we do not act in moral uprightness, we no go dey happy, because now those things what we do now will bring happiness come to us. If we do not choose as a nation to liberate ourselves, we no feel dey free, we no feel dey happy, because we are not going in accordance with Mars. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening ears. And I remain Aneke Chinoso John Paul. And this is where we call it, we close the curtain on the human free will. Thank you once.
So it is now time for us to present our different questions. Yeah, I think, let me go first. When you were explaining the feather and the heart, I didn't really get it. It's like I didn't get exactly what you were saying there. It's like I got an opposite of what it's supposed to be, that when the feather is on the scale and the heart is on it, if the heart goes down, it means that the heart is heavy, because actually the heart was supposed to be as light as the feather. That is why the feather is the symbol, one of the symbols of Ma'at. So the heart is supposed to be as light as the feather. So if the heart is as light as the feather, it means that the heart will remain in the same position, the same level with the feather. But if the heart goes down, it means that Isfet has taken charge of that heart continuously, and that is why the heart is heavy, and that is why it goes down. I don't know if that is what it is.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much for pointing it out. Actually, what I did was to go to the two extremes.
Okay.
I went to the two extremes, whereby when the heart itself is not in accordance, it goes the feather weighs higher. You see that when the heart, the human person has not achieved, has not done what it should, the feather will go high. And when the feather is down and the heart is going up, it means it do well, which is supposed to arrive at what we call equilibrium, just like you rightly pointed out.
Yeah.
That is the middle ground where the two are on the same wavelength. So it means the person, you don't achieve math, don't reach.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
Yes, Tony.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, mine is just a bit of clarification on the pedagogical response. If you can put it to the slide. Yeah, okay, where it says that evil as the negative has the negative and as an ontological principle. Okay, it's in the structure of process of being. For being is possible. Okay. Sorry, I was not getting it before now. Okay, I understand.
Oh,
Thank you.
It's all right. You're welcome.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Actually, he delivered a very nice he made a very nice presentation tonight, and I have no contrary to whatever, everything he said. I just whatever I have to say tonight is just a reaffirmation of everything he had delivered. There are good and evil in every man, and the choice is just theirs to take, and whatever choices that they make is what justify whatever their actions would be. So I am only trying to contribute to whatever he has said, that yes, he has said it right. Good and evil are in a man. So it's just the power of choice, that decision that they make, that contribute to their action. So it was a nice one, nice presentation, sir. Thank you for having me here.
Thanks for your encouraging words.
So before you go, there is something from Mahunyon Sansan. Can you insist a little on the political implication of the Martian's philosophy of free will?
Now, it's a classical example of what we are facing, and where I was citing the political figures, Buhari, P2B, the INEC chairman, and the rest. My people, we know they mix words. We don't talk about it in take B. We are in this dicey situation because of the certain choices a group of persons have made for the nation. If, for instance, in the free exercise of our will as humans, that is through the franchise, the voting. We've made this choice, and these choices are respected. What do you think will be the order of the day today as Nigeria stands? No be mad. On the other hand, we are witnessing what we call effects. You can see that when humans have tried to exercise their own political franchise, and it's denied, chaos will continue to reign. But then we don't give up. We don't give up. We keep pushing. We keep pushing because, just like I said, maths in the end triumphs. But it can only triumph through our active responsiveness. We go there, respond to that situation. We die here. We die here. So that is it. I don't want to. Sometimes I use pidgin to portray certain points because there are some keywords that a Nigerian hears and knows. This is the name. This is the cocoa. So that's why I make certain references to beautiful language pidgin. Okay, my people, if there are other questions, please don't hesitate to put it on our group WhatsApp. I will respond to them promptly once I get some, because I'm somewhere now and people are waiting for me. Sorry if I have to rush, but I think we had a beautiful lecture, and thanks for your participation.